Welcome to the Bougie Black Brother Network. Welcome back to Repo Rethink Politics, where we finish off with our opinions on the Me Too movement in regards to religion and our last bit of conversation with immigration. Check it out. So before we get out of here, I gotta bring up the article that I put in. The Me Too goes to church. Southern Baptists face a reckoning over the treatment of women. Thoughts, guys?
About time.
Oh yeah.
Bullshit in the the South is fucked up. It's about time. I'm all for the South changing and being modern.
Right.
So I thought it's great. I mean, Southern church culture is a thing. It's real.
Right.
Churches play a big role in the South. So the more healthy that is, the more healthy people are in general. Not to mention, I mean, from a political perspective, evangelical. So, I think that just helps everybody, especially women. If motherfuckers stop acting weird, like, bro, you supposed to be a pastor.
Yeah. Why you acting
Can
like
you
that?
not? Can you stop?
Yeah, can you just stop?
harassing the parishioners, please?
Keep your hands to yourself. You ain't blessing nobody. You know.
Hey, oh, damn.
What
Hey,
you
let me
got,
baptize you,
E?
girl.
What you think, E?
I mean, I feel like I don't know too much about the story right now, but
So let me kind of lay it out. And
Yeah.
I read some of it, and then I took it like I've always been taking this, which is religion actually pushes women to the back. Religion always has women as a secondary to a man, even though it's equal treatment and we go about that. Even the way things are written, women are second. And because of that, men take it and say, I'm allowed to treat women this way. Men take it as, well, that's what the Bible says. White men take it as, I can do this to blacks and women. And that's where religion does that because of interpretation. And the interpretation has made misogyny and racism to be almost legal or justified. So that's when I read that, I was like, of course. Of course. So that's how I kind of took it. So I didn't even have to read too deep in there because I see it all the time. Even in the churches that I've attended, women still didn't have the voice to be able to contribute. There's certain positions that they can be in and cannot be in, where the man or the vote has to be in the hands of the man. So that's how I kind of took that and say, but how long will it stand? Will it really be a Me Too, or is it conditioned in a lot of women's minds, because it truly is, if you go to a lot of churches, that no, we don't need a woman up there doing that. No, that's not our place. It's been conditioned in so many women in so many ways that it's kind of hard to even change the society to say this is wrong. And that's why I thought this was important.
Yeah.
I feel like if you're a church, you want to talk shit and be involved in politics, we can come after you. In terms you can be. I don't know the context in terms of how that works from a legal perspective, but I think the lines are blurring so much between state and church and state. Is just, I thought of it as like, from an investigative perspective. I mean, if you're law enforcement, how are you going to attack this? Churches are being like very. It's almost like a lobbying thing. Like the evangelical thing was huge this last election.
That is true. And the thing is, it was big even in the Bush time, but
Yeah.
they really pushed a lot, because during the Bush's second term, they promised a lot of black churches what they was going to do for them. So there was some incentives for them to vote for Bush. And they all rallied up, and that's what happened. You know what I mean? So I'm just not a big fan of people pushing an agenda that hurts other people. And sometimes
but
religion
how is it
does
any
that.
different? How are they different than the Koch brothers, whatever? What is it?
The Koch brothers? What you mean, religion?
Brothers, yeah.
It's because they get tax-free shit.
That's what I'm saying. You're still lobbying. You're still pushing an agenda. It's the same shit from that perspective.
I feel you.
It's just so far the Koch, whatever the name is, brothers haven't been caught molested motherfuckers. So that's the only difference. Yet. One has and one hasn't.
Yeah,
Pastor so and so, come with me. Let me ask you some questions. You know what I'm saying? So I don't. Is the Me Too movement still have a lot of steam?
So it's there. Yeah. It's there, I think, because of, back to your media point, I think because the media has a different agenda, you know what I mean? That's what's happening. What's happening is they're actually just, hey, look, this is the priority. Even though there's some other shit that's going on, that's what they're going with.
There's nothing there. It's like an earthquake. I feel like they're just waiting. They're just, Me Too is just going, and then, oh shit, who's involved with it? And then boom, Russell Simmons. You know what I'm saying? Then all of a sudden it's all over the news, whether it was right or wrong. That's how I feel like the Me Too. Now, first of all, hold on. I agree. I'm all for the Me Too movement. That's a good cause. It's just, I feel like the news. Yeah. I feel like I was going another way. No, but no. So I feel like what I'm saying is, I think the news, I think the headlines, they use it, and they only talk about it when it's like a name that they feel is big.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
So you know what? This isn't super related to politics, but I think is noteworthy on the subject. The Intel guy.
Yep.
Now the headline said consensual.
Mm-hmm.
And
what was the policy though?
Right. So should both of them? They didn't say if the other person resigned, he resigned.
Yeah, and you asked me that.
So is that a Me Too thing?
No, it's not a Me Too. But the policy, the thing what happened was they hid it and they knew he was doing it. But when they quoted the policy, because the Me Too got to them, it's like, wait a minute. He's dating such hey, I resign. I'm out of here. So, but to your point, if we're being fair, and Me Too should go for both ends, male or female. So if the policy said you cannot date someone, is the policy stating from the hierarchy down or just in general? Because if it's in general, both of them should have lost their job.
Yeah. But it didn't say explicitly. We just know he did.
Yeah. Because he was the name. You know what I'm saying?
But it wasn't really a huge story because of that.
Because it wasn't a Me Too. It wasn't a Me Too. It was a policy violation of a CEO of a major company. And
I personally thought, well, okay, he's a nerd. He was able to get some regular. It was consensual. So finally.
Was it consensual?
That's a if you
he's a CEO, he's a millionaire, dude. Was it consensual?
He was paying for it?
We don't know. I'm just saying.
Questionable?
It's questionable. It's questionable. Power is addictive.
Yeah.
So you the Intel guy making chips, and you got power? Like, you a nerd.
But you got power. Nerds is finally the top athlete in the room.
Man,
that changed around 1990 to 2000.
That's true. Hit that switch.
Yeah. Exactly.
You no longer need to be 6'3" and
200 and somewhat pounds, bulking muscle. That's attractive.
It's 5'6".
Yeah.
And advanced algorithm logic.
Exactly. The groupies, their resumes.
That's why Donald Glover has a white girl. Yeah. Had to throw that in.
Wait,
Thanks.
What just happened? Hold up. Does he?
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, you know that? He got 2 kids by her. But she stuck by him, dude. She stuck by him. He was a nerd. Nerds wasn't attractive. This guy was very eccentric and a genius, but she stuck by him. So that's who he had. I don't doubt it.
So you saying she was there before?
Yeah, she was before. She wasn't one of those chasing type, you know. So I
got him. Where's she from?
I don't know, man.
She's not from Atlanta?
Once again, I'm not going into the level of details with that bullshit.
I'm gonna guess Houston. Charlotte. Jesus, Charlotte.
That's Houston.
Shit.
Just throwing some.
Yeah, that's from Miami. You know, just
from New York.
Yeah, no, fucking Atlanta. No, South Georgia, Americas. She's from Macon. So, anywho, I think we hit a lot of areas, but we missed out a lot too. So,
I feel like we're missing one. I want to talk about.
Yeah, we didn't talk about the kids in the cages, dude.
Yeah,
and then how he reneged. Well, he was everywhere saying, "I can't do nothing about it. It was all the Democrats. This is the Democrat policy. I can't do nothing about it."
Then he changed it.
2 days later, he was like, "I did an executive order." He didn't even say oops.
Y'all didn't like that.
He didn't even say oops. He was like, I made a decision to do an executive order. Wait a minute, 2 days ago you said you couldn't do it. I made a decision to do it. You're not even answering me. I made a decision. He's not even going to say he was wrong. He's just going to say, this is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to send Melania because she doesn't want to be around me.
So, yeah. That story, so my issue with that story is how long was it happening?
So they wasn't separating them. It was part of the policy, but they weren't actually separating them.
Oh.
It was the policy, though. But because of Trump saying, no, that's what we're supposed to do. Do it. Mm-hmm. And then people was like, man, this is crazy. What the hell are y'all doing? So, hey, the Democrats made that.
So when did that start? Last week? It explicitly started last week or a week before?
The what?
So when they were separating?
Yeah, the actual enforcing the separation.
It was about a month ago. And then the press got their hands on it.
Okay.
So we started hearing it about 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
Yeah. So I kind of know a little bit about the story.
Thank you.
So technically the policy, I mean, it's been going on for a while. The only difference is when Obama was in office, people that were at the borders, they had a chance to turn around and go back. It was like when Obama was president, if they got caught or if they were trying to come into the country and they didn't have the papers, whatever, illegally, that's the whole point of this whole thing. Mm-hmm. When they catch you, they release you. They
catch and release.
Yep. Yeah,
exactly.
The only difference is the law. Technically, I mean, you're basically breaking the law in this country, right? So, by the basics of how the law works, when you get caught, you gotta go to jail. You gotta go to court. Mm-hmm. And when you're legally bound or arrested, you cannot have a child with you. So they have to take the kid away from the parent, that they've arrested, and they start putting all these kids in cages. So the thing is, it's kind of one of those deals where the numbers have been skyrocketing. The immigration, the people coming over the borders that are coming over from South America, coming up, through Mexico. So the numbers have just been rising to the point that this year it's hitting like record numbers. And it just leaked how much and how bad it looks now, a month or two ago. But it's been going on for a little bit. But so what's going on right now is when they take these people in and they're arresting them, they're bringing them to court, like literally in a court. I don't know how it looks or whatever, old school court, I don't know. But they're bringing them in at the border and they're taking their kids away. So what the policy is doing now is that it lets them stay with their kids. I guess that's the rule right now, but the border patrol people don't understand how they can actually continue doing that when they're actually still bringing them to the court. Because if they went back to the Obama way, it's like, all right, look, we caught you. You got to go. You can't be here.
Yeah, get your ass right back.
We don't want to separate you. So look, you have one choice: either you're actually going to get arrested, or you got to go, get out of here, And that's people were leaving. They weren't separating the kids. Is what it's what's going on.
Yeah.
So it's difficult with the whole immigration thing on how they're going to actually handle it.
And then you have like kids in Wisconsin, and the parents is in Texas, and you got kids in like Florida and New York that they shipped them away from them. And some of the kids are going to these, and thanks to John Oliver, to these courts that they're asking the children, why do you want to be here? 5-year-olds. And they can't answer any questions. That is, okay, so we got to send you back. And the kid can't defend himself because they was like, they don't need a lawyer. They can answer the questions for the court. And that's our policy, though. So now what we're doing is we're trying to reverse it back to say, hey, look, let's try to be humanitarians and do the right things. But I think we way past that because we've done so much that everything is scattered everywhere. And to your point, what do they do now? Do we catch and release again, or do we hold them in the cages with their family? What do we do? We can't keep
shit is tough.
bringing these people in. Yeah, it's a tough situation.
But it's a self-inflicted wound.
Yeah, they never foresaw this happening. They were just like, let's kick out these immigrants. And then shit hit the fan, and then they're like, oh shit. Okay, well let's reverse it. And then they're like, wait, you still got kids without families.
Yep.
So like they got kids, they got 1 month olds or 1 month, well, probably that too, 1-year-olds that haven't seen their parents in like 2 months.
Yep.
And
they don't know their parents' name,
they don't know
or anything. Yeah.
Yeah. That's some bullshit. It's like, okay, all right, you fix what the future, but like kind of. But how about the problem that you created earlier?
Like we're the United States. Hopefully we can act like it. Like, how is he not done?
That's what I'm saying, bro. He's so like this is not how it works. Like, you're making us look bad. This is the opposite of everything that we've always stood for.
But our reality has changed. Our reality has actually changed because this is normal. This is normal.
Yeah.
We have to really reverse this shit. Yeah. That's what's scary.
This is America.
This is America. It's just it's crazy. But I don't even know what we can do as a society to try to correct it. Because like you said, there's just a lot of influx in. And most of the influx is based on the crime in these countries, that they're killing them there. And they're trying to escape that. Or it's a publicity thing to say, let me get these people out of my country because we don't want to support them.
I want to make this point because I posted like 2 screenshots from the Wall Street Journal. The comment section is always crazy.
Oh yeah,
and
ridiculous. One
person, y'all saw the one that was like, I hope y'all find Jesus in your heart, whatever. This is crazy. We should show compassion. Then the person commented underneath that, well, I hope you want to let illegal immigrants into your house or some shit. I was like, damn, man.
Take them to your goddamn house.
Yeah.
Right.
And what I remember being, in high school, you learn about middle school. You learn about Ellis Island in New York, the Statue of Liberty. We got the fucking movie, Gangs of New York. Just immigration was a thing. It's a foundation of the country just because you always have you just always have the new blood, new people just coming in, new culture. And it's just such a, you totally shifted the opposite way, or
it was celebrated.
Or at the very least, it was like, those cultures. So it's kind of like,
right.
Even when even in high school, when I learned about it, I didn't necessarily learn about immigration within the context of like, buying, like the United States bought land from Mexico and all that, or just, I don't know. It was more so just I remember it was heavily focused on that more so. And all other aspects of immigration really aren't celebrated like we remember how we had agents on the railroads and all that, but
Right.
it was just like European immigration. It was like, ooh, Ellis Island, and it was, you know,
Yeah, well, that's it. What we know about is like when the Italians came over and they were
yeah.
able to
I'm
get their
saying, but they
jobs.
didn't like them though.
Yeah,
Like I'm saying, y'all remember the movie Gangs in New York, right?
Oh yeah,
So you
absolutely.
remember
yeah,
how that was the whole, they had to stick together just because they still had to struggle.
yeah.
But even
Mhm.
then, it
Mhm.
was like it's just such a
Well, was it racism though? You know,
Yeah, it
yes.
it was just
You
more like,
remember?
absolutely. The gangs in New
yeah,
York
okay,
was some
okay,
racist because they was calling
my
the
bad.
Polish niggas. They was calling Polish people niggas.
Okay,
I was kind of like,
all right.
whoa, what is that? Then I had
So
to look it up because I
yeah.
was like, what the hell is this all about? And
So I'm
then I was like,
saying
damn, they
that
were.
was really celebrated and whatever, and from a historical perspective. But you got to remember, at the time they had a rough time. So I can
Hmm.
imagine it's just so how people feel now is totally disconnected from you know the whole. I think we look at history through a rosy lens, but
Hmm.
even at the time, it was fucked up for those people, and it's fucked up for people now.
But let's go
Yeah,
to, I think, what we do discuss, like, I think months ago. There's jobs that we're not doing and what we won't do, meaning Americans. We're not going to be on the top of these roofs. We're not going to be picking these fruits and vegetables. We're not going to do a lot of these things that we are using immigrants for. But yet we're
Yeah.
saying we don't want these immigrants. And, there was a documentary that me and my wife seen that in Alabama, they outlawed these immigrants to have any jobs. Farms were actually, crops was rotting and all of that because they couldn't find anyone to do the jobs. Georgia in turn said, no, don't worry about it. We'll use our prison population because we send people to prison for any goddamn thing. The prisoners was like, just send me back to jail. I'm not doing this shit. It was that bad because there are people who are willing to do it. And sadly, I don't know if it's a conditioning or, I don't want to sound stereotypical, but they do the job and they do it well. And that's who's doing it. But
yeah.
we
I mean,
saying get them out of
it's
here.
passion.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But we saying
I
get
don't
them
need to
out of
see.
here.
But yeah, I just don't get like. See, that's the part where I feel like it's like they're scared. You know, it's a they don't want people to take their jobs and they don't want them to take their houses or their homes, their neighborhoods, and it's like what are you afraid of exactly? Because I mean, I only see nothing. Like if I'm a business owner,
Mm-hmm.
and that'd be perfect for me, especially if I have like a farm or a coal mining, whatever they everything that Trump is like been doing rallies about. Like he needs bodies, people that are passionate about doing this the shit that people don't want to do, that hard work. Like that's what a lot of these immigrants would do. So I guess in hand, it makes sense then why those people would be the ones that are afraid of immigrants to take. I mean, because how many immigrants are going to be taking a programmer's job?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
But they're not talking about them
you know,
because
yeah, they're only talking
they're
about
talking about the people going over the border.
Yeah.
And the thing is, we keep saying that it wasn't even the jobs anymore. Now they're
Mhm.
preaching that it's criminals.
Mhm.
It's the violence from them.
Yeah,
That's where
they're
they
doing it on
switched it.
purpose too.
Yeah, they switched it.
You know, they want people to be scared of them.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's
that's
the fear. And
yeah.
you got women and babies showing up, but yet you still saying get them out of here.
Yeah.
But yet you preaching that you can't get them over here because they're criminals.
Yeah, like the husbands are at home. They have to work and use the money. They support the women, the wife and the child to send them up here, and then the
Mm-hmm.
man usually comes later.
Working their ass off
Yep.
too.
Yeah, so
Yep.
that just debunks that whole thing. I don't know. It's just, uh,
Yeah.
you know what
What you
Trump
said,
does
Chaz.
though. You
Yeah.
know
Go ahead.
the play is he has the victims of border violence with him. My husband was
Oh.
killed by cartel and blah 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 or some shit, which is
But he looks for them. It's not like they're everywhere.
it is not to marginalize the victims, but it's just
Mhm.
context and perspective. If you
Mm-hmm.
have
Yeah,
like, hey, we need to target gangs, quote unquote, i.e., black people.
yeah.
It's like, well,
or the MI13 or MS13, whatever.
or whatever. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, it's like not all Latinos are gonna be like, shit. I'm a fucking college student. I'm this. I'm that. What the fuck that has to do with me?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's just like is generalization is it's unfortunate, but it's the reality.
Ignorance.
Yeah, we had Laura Bush talking shit.
Yeah,
Laura Bush is like, what the
Laura
fuck?
Bush. Yep.
What the fuck is? You have to. When has that ever happened in recent memory? A former former first lady speaks out, makes a statement.
Wow. So we always got to end it with a downer.
I know. That's been a trend the last couple of times.
I know. It just goes on a high. You get it, and then it's like,
we need to really think about it. Wah, wah.
Wah, wah, wah.
All right, can I?
Yeah, but
I think we got some. Okay, can we do a new segment?
What's that?
Let's do a new segment called Silver Lining.
Ooh,
what's some silver lining of some shit that's recently happened?
Silver lining.
Oh, we'll say women for sure. Women being elected, and black women especially in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. So that's silver lining of the Trump presidency so far.
Around the world. Yeah. I mean, around the nation. You had what's it? Transgender, former military. I think it was Arizona running for governor. I think she won her side, and there was a couple other women out west that won, like their positions to run against the Republicans. So you got a lot of women, and some women that I've been reading is former military as well. So the good thing that the women has going for them is like, hey, look, hey, I got the military background, so don't try to. I'm a housewife sitting around not knowing what I know and just running just as a soccer mom. Even though there's some soccer moms that's winning and teachers, but the ones with this military background is getting a leg up because of that. Yeah, which I'm going to respect regardless of the fact. You just got to know your shit and stand up. That's it. Yeah. And we just need more women. Yeah. So the silver lining is the more women that we get in that's willing to speak up for the family and the people, I'm all for. I'm all for it. And then when it's time, not just saying I'm agreeing with them, but sometimes you got to open your pocket and say, look, I'm going to have to send money, donate, to support these people. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
A lot of times we just doing just mouth talking, but
word of mouth.
Word of mouth.
Okay.
But, we just got to do some shit.
I know what you mean.
Good silver lining though.
Yeah, that's a good one.
No silver lining with the Mueller case. I don't feel good about that either.
Let's wait. Let's wait.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna be patient.
I giving up.
Yeah, but Cleveland still lost, and I waited on that shit too.
Oh, fuck y'all. Blow.
Yeah. So what's silver lining? Any other one? Because I'm sorry, I'm in a bad position with now.
I don't know.
I'll look for them.
Yeah. You're running kind of long.
I'll be ready next time. Yeah.
We're running kind of long, so that's my only one.
Okay.
You cut it short next time. I have two or three.
That was a good one.
Silver lining. I do like that though. So excellent. Thanks, gentlemen. I really appreciate the time in. We'll definitely get together.
And a peanut gallery.
Thank you, peanut gallery. Appreciate all your outside input.
You need to get on the mic.
Say something.
Hi, guys.
Hey there. Thanks for the contribution. Always useful.
That's featuring peanut gallery.
Excellent. But we'll see you next time. Repo, Rethink Politics. Yeah. Download on all podcast downloads. Now Google has a podcast. They finally got into it. Idiots. Except for going into Google Play. Now they got Google Podcasts. So
I got to do a plug.
Go ahead.
Check out my website, chazmjenkins.com. chazmjenkins.com. I think it's dope.
Great blogs on there. I was reading a couple. Good blogs, though.
Yeah, I put some new shit on there, so yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. My new shit is... Oh, no, I haven't. I think... Not since you've seen it. You seen it last week or this week?
Yeah, when you called me when we was talking.
Okay, yeah. Updated the theme, too, so it looks good on mobile and desktop.
Yeah, there you go.
Mobile friendly.
Mobile friendly.
Exactly.
Gotta keep it right.
Got my analytics going. Fire.
SEO.
Excellent day.
Oh, and we're gonna rename the peanut gallery to the protein pack.
Ah, there you go. Protein pack.
Like my alliteration.
Get a couple of fruits in there
Yeah,
and some
pup.
other nuts.
The protein pack.
The protein pack. All right, y'all. I appreciate it, and we'll see you next time on Rethink Politics Repo. Later.